What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Spectrum Show. We're your hosts, Spencer, Mark, Jackson, Clyde, and Sean Cabot, and happy spooky season to you all.
Why aren't we called the Spooky Spectrum Show this season, actually?
Who even knows, honestly? But
That's right, Spence. In this episode, we'll be reviewing the biggest releases that took place during September and October, as well as one that came out during the later portion of the summer.
So we're just going to get ready for our first review, and, specifically that one animated movie we missed during Summer of Spectrum that you might have heard about. Don't go anywhere, we will be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, and in this segment, we're going to be talking about quite possibly the biggest movie of the summer?
Yeah, biggest animated movie for sure.
Maybe the biggest movie in period, honestly, because the amount of people I've seen talk about this is...
it's a big deal. It's not every day you get, all the entire cast on SNL spontaneously.
That is true.
Say what you will about the quality of SNL, but, they're in demand.
Yeah. It's K-pop Demon Hunters, which I never thought I'd say on this show.
Heck yeah.
But honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by this.
I love this movie.
Well, what do you mean pleasantly surprised?
Because here's the thing. I'm not a listener of K-pop. I don't listen to them as much as other people
I don't
do.
really either.
Well, I'm not a revolutionary, bombing type, but I also enjoyed one battle after another.
That's fair, but honestly, this, I'm just gonna say right now, even compared to a proper musical film, they wish they could be this.
Well, because this, I was saying this to Jackson after we got out, but this is a movie that actually has a surprising amount of broad demographic appeal. It's an action thing, so boys don't gotta feel too bad about liking it, even though it's about girls. It's got a lot of, cool girls, so, the girls are into it. It's K-pop, which is just a
monster.
Yeah, no, it's a monster music
genre,
monster music phenomenon at this point.
Yeah.
It's technically a musical, so it's kind of cornering the market on Disney stuff when their musicals have been half good, but also kind of hit and miss. You got stuff like Encanto, but you also got stuff like Wish.
And the Hamilton re-release, I might add.
Well, that's musical theater. That's a different thing entirely.
That's true, but it's still damn good though.
They might make that an animated
But
movie
yeah, no, this
eventually.
is this is a thing that has a lot of broad appeal, and I think that's probably part of the reason why it took off so much.
So let's get into the plot.
Yes,
This
please.
movie follows Huntrix, a girl group consisting of 3 characters, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who, in addition to their worldwide stardom, also work to protect the Han Moon, a spiritual energy surrounding the world that keeps demons from overrunning the whole place.
It's a whole generational thing.
And any demons who do get through, they have to hunt them down.
It's a whole generational thing. Singers have been doing this for centuries and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I just want to make this clear. On paper, this shouldn't work.
Well,
it does.
Should it?
But somehow it just does.
I know that it's a lot of concepts to throw out, but I don't see why it's an inherently flawed idea.
I'm not saying it's flawed. I'm just saying it just makes no sense.
Well, it made perfect sense to me.
It makes perfect sense.
It's just a lot of elements. There's
been a lot of media like this in the past, something like Symphogear is very similar to this.
Okay, you are not opening this up with this is easy to understand and then going to Symphogear. Anyway.
I'm surrounded by crazy people.
The main deal, however, out of the main 3 girls we follow, Rumi, our effective main character, has something she is hiding from her best friends and group mates.
Namely that her father was a demon himself, and that, she's part of the reason she's so dedicated to enacting the Han Moon in its strongest golden form is that she thinks it will basically, cure her of the physical traces of her demon heritage. But, demon world is getting really mad about losing all the time, so they decide to, beat them at their own game by sending in a 5-man boy band to steal their fans and kill their morale.
God.
Yeah, I do have to ask though, completely unrelated, but before we get into that, Is there a sequel plan for this? Or
I mean,
There's already sequels and spin-offs planned.
oh, sequels and spin-offs, really?
The guys at Sony who sold the guys at Sony who sold this to Netflix have probably been fired by now.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know about fired, but like
reprimanded.
I mean,
Definitely in
I don't
trouble.
know. I mean, I don't even know about reprimanded, but everyone's definitely like, dang.
What have we done here?
We really could have made bank on this.
This is the first thing I've ever heard where Hasbro and Mattel have to share the toy rights, and I'm like,
Really?
oh my god.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're doing a split deal, a like once in a lifetime split deal between the two companies for merch based on
no,
that.
but like I
crazy.
imagine there's still a lot of people at Sony who are like, it was probably like something of an unsafe bet to not just give all the like rights to Netflix, but at the same time I wish we took that unsafe bet.
Yeah, but
This could have paid off
But,
so much for us.
But like
they still produced it
but
or created
like
it.
it really, if I have to choose one weak point with the movie, it's that I think the script and dialogue could maybe be touched up a bit. It falls into a similar kind of traditional verve.
Yeah.
But that's a very minor flaw in the grand scheme of things. Like there's still a lot of great jokes and character interplay.
The overall animation of the characters really helps too.
I actually wanted to bring up something.
that's the selling
I
point.
will say with the animation, it feels like all of Sony's different animation eras in all the best aspects of it in one, basically.
I mean,
from like the
Sony-
old CG to like the Spider-Verse stuff.
I mean, Sony, since 2018, has basically kind of been cornering the market on, non-traditional CG animation styles. And this is probably like the culmination of that. This is one of their best looking movies. They've got a really strong sense of visual identity without overlapping with other things. And the songs are all spectacular.
They're Billboard hits too, don't forget.
Yeah, no, a bunch of them are Billboard hits.
Look forward to the bonus category for the Spectrum Awards, where we
Yes.
get to pick what our favorite. You get to pick what your favorite song from the movie was.
I will also add, the jokes in this movie, it feels like how best to put this? It's like it doesn't feel too stereotypical, but also feels like of the culture.
This movie feels like it understands what
Yes,
modern
it understands
kid humor is, and I
it
appreciate
understands
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
and it would be easy if it were just superficially beautiful and the music was good and the jokes were good and the characters were charming, but they actually do kind of tie.
took
They
their time.
actually genuinely tie it together with a very meaningful story too.
Yeah, but it also makes me think, you said there were going to be sequels, multiple sequels and spin-offs,
I mean,
right?
and also potential prequels.
Oh, dang.
Oh, there's a prequel short film that they're already prepping to release.
I do want to ask, what other genres of music could we see in this?
I mean, some people really do want prequels with older Korean musician styles.
I would love to see that, especially the ones they teased in the movie itself.
I would also like to see some other cultures get involved, maybe a hip hop culture, or a grime, or something like that.
I mean, seeing if this is a global thing.
Yeah,
you
a
know,
global
if
thing.
other people got to defend their own portion of the Han Moon.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome, seeing a hip hop side of thing, or a rock side of it.
It'd be the second Kingsman movie, but not terrible.
Anyway, I think this is a pretty self-evidently great thing, and what's good about it is fairly straightforward. So I don't really think I got much else to say.
You should watch it if you haven't.
It's on Netflix, and they're probably gonna be re-releasing it again in theaters at some point.
Oh yeah, they already announced the feeder re-release.
Anyway,
I think
so
we're on the
next week-
second one right
yeah,
now.
no, this is a 9 for me.
Yeah,
This is
agreed.
a 9.5 for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
9.25. I'll even it out. Anyway, so is that? Well, I guess we got to move on to our next segment.
All right.
We'll be right back, guys.
Be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We are the cast of the Spectrum Show, and moving on to our next Spectrum of Opinions discussion, we're going to be reviewing the somewhat recently released Disney Plus series, Marvel Zombies. So, Jackson, I know you didn't like the show.
Terrible.
That's worst thing we reviewed so far, or worse than
I don't remember if there's something worse than this.
Craven? Or is it better? Or is it slightly better?
I think I enjoyed Craven more than this.
Really?
This show upset me on numerous levels to a point where I was shocked I hated it as much as I did, to be honest.
Honestly, I'm going to be fully honest with you. I was expecting a lot more from this show, honestly.
I feel like this show's main problem in my eyes, on top of all the other problems, is that it keeps introducing ideas that could be interesting or fun and never spends the time on them to warrant that.
Yeah.
This show was only 4 episodes, 4 30-minute episodes.
They needed to be an hour long at least. If they're going to do short
or
episodes.
at least do like 6. If you're doing short episodes, do like 6 or 8. I'd take
Yeah,
like.
I agree.
It feels like they're speed running the entire thing, which is part of why nothing feels like it should.
Well, to be fair, the animated stuff isn't nearly as the animated Marvel content is not nearly as good as the live action. To be fair,
I mean, I thought they were actually kind of on an upswing with What If Season 3. Those first 2 episodes were really bad, but they had some really good. They had
When's
the
after
rest.
that?
The rest of the season was really good, I'd say.
yeah, but
It had some neat ideas and it generally had a satisfying finale.
anyways, let's talk about what the general sense of the story.
Marvel Zombies has a main character and a second main character who they want you to think is the other main character, but isn't actually the main character, because the main character of this show is very firmly Kamala Khan. They want Shang-Chi to be the other one, but never give him the kind of focus in the same way Kamala gets throughout this. It feels very lopsided.
It feels a very Kamala-heavy story.
I feel like if you, once again, longer runtime could have made this dual protagonist thing feel a bit more natural.
Yeah. I just feel like they're kind of just, it does feel kind of rushed, though.
This is actually set after an episode of What If. Funnily enough, it's the episode of What If I remember from the first season that everyone went, this is the worst one from this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one does I think it's trying to do too much too quickly, I think.
Oh yeah, the amount of lore they just gloss over and speed run through is deranged in this.
It's kind of wild.
I
honestly.
don't know why they decided they could get away with so much.
Because zombie stuff, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up, it's not as popular as it used to be, I don't think.
I mean, it's not really that. It's more like, it feels like this could have been an interesting idea with better people behind it, but you have
it's the
the
same
guy
people
behind
from
What If,
yeah,
and
same people from What If, yeah.
and Zeb Wells, who has a kind of mixed track record in general outside of like even TV. So we're gonna, okay, but yeah. Primary focus on the show is Kamala and Shang-Chi and a bunch of other random Marvel characters. Primarily characters who originated in Phase 4 and 5 in this.
It's very Phase 4 and 5 heavy.
Especially, mainly because What If Season 1, the episode that preceded it, focused very heavily on Phases 1 through 3 Marvel.
Yeah.
So we have a lot more focus on characters like, well, I would say a lot more focus, but no character in this really gets much.
Except for Kamala and Shang-Chi for the most part.
And even then, I don't think they really get that much in the end, which is...
the What If universe is a very complicated side of Marvel.
Well, it's multiple universes.
Well, yeah, the What If side of Marvel, basically. Like, it wasn't very well executed.
Okay, can I just say this show looks terrible? Like, looks terrible?
I mean, more kind of like What If Season 1 or worse than that?
I haven't seen What If Season 1, but this definitely looked worse than Season 3. The lighting in this is bad at all times for some reason.
The whole thing just feels very like...
The action animation is distinctly weaker. Kamala's MCU powers do not work well with this animation style. They look noticeably bad.
Yeah, they look so much different in animation than they do in live action.
The Marvel, I appreciate, I'm still not a big fan of the power change, but I feel like something like the Marvels managed to do some creative stuff with it. Yeah. And in this show, it's mostly just boring constructs or her shooting projectiles.
Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't feel the same.
The one moment I thought was pretty cool was her blowing up Namor's head, but that's...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because like, this is easily one of the goriest Marvel series today.
And even then, it doesn't really feel like it... The scene where Jimmy Woo gets bisected by those zombies felt completely weightless in a way I know wasn't the intention, and I'm like, why does it look this bad?
Yeah, and like, do you think this would have been better if it was a live action show?
No, I don't think. Well, they couldn't do a live action show for this, considering like the amount of cast members in this. It would be like its own production.
That's true.
But also, like, I kind of wish they didn't even bother at all.
No, that was never going to be an option, unfortunately.
Why? It's Marvel Zombies. The brand has only been good twice.
Well, tell me when that is. I want to know.
Actually, one of our examples is this book right here, and the other one is a brief revival of the series by Philip Kennedy Johnson in the early 2020s.
Yeah, so anyways.
Marvel Zombies started in the mid-2000s.
I would say, I think it's a 2000s
under
thing.
Robert Kirkman, surprisingly, who you feel like would be a good choice for a Marvel zombie thing, because his biggest series at that point were Invincible and The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah, he should have been helped.
Despite that, the series is just pointlessly miserable and stupid. And then almost every Marvel Zombies thing since has carried over one of those problems or invented entirely new problems, like this does.
It's really a shame because the zombie genres can be really fun at times.
I feel like there's interesting ideas you can do with Marvel. Okay, time for my biggest gripe of this show. Anyone who's watched Spectrum for a bit probably knows that I'm a big fan of Captain Marvel.
They did her dirty, do you think?
The fact that the zombie who kills Kamala's best friends in the apocalypse is the superhero she literally idolizes and wanted to be like. And that doesn't matter at all in this context. That was bizarre.
That was really
You team yourself up for a perfect plot thread with them, and you just bat it out on purpose. I don't understand.
Yeah, that was a let. Now that I'm thinking of it, that's a serious letdown.
Carol should have been like, if not the main villain, a prominent villain in the show that Kamala had to fight at some point as like a big moment of proving herself. You know?
That would have actually been great.
Like it's just that like.
That could have been a huge redemption if they did that.
Yeah, Kamala throwing down with the person who,
she idolized.
Like the zombified version of the person she wanted to be like, and having to be the hero in that. It would work way better. Instead, this show is focused on doing something extremely stupid with Wanda, and we never actually find. Me and Sean were talking about this on the way here in the car ride. Wanda's plans are never fully explained in this show.
I about to say I didn't really understand what the plan was.
I didn't understand it either, and that's not a us being dumb thing. That's the creators are having to explain after the fact what her plan was thing, in which. No, you failed if you have to do that. If you have to explain something the main villain's plan of your show.
You're doing something wrong.
After it finishes. You're
doing something wrong.
You wrote it wrong. You just wrote it wrong.
Honestly, it set up. I will say, I hope this. Even though this ended on a massive cliffhanger, I don't think we're gonna get a season 2. Honestly,
they threatened us with a season 2. I don't want one.
If they do, they need a complete team refresh. I think.
Yeah, they need to just start from scratch if you're doing a season 2. Honestly, just do like a completely different zombies plot.
Yeah. Or create new characters for the show, even.
No, I'm not sure that would work. Or just go full desperation mode and do the thing the comics did, where it was a crossover with Evil Dead eventually.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Marvel Zombies had a crossover with Ash Williams getting trapped in the Marvel Zombies universe.
That's actually kind of cool, honestly.
It is actually really funny.
But anyway,
it's not good, but it's funny.
But it's entertaining.
A few things I want to get out that I did admittedly like. This is more of the show, like introducing concepts that could be interesting and just failing to deliver on them at all.
Yeah.
So these are just going to be the most backhanded compliments I can throw out about something. I like the idea of the raft in this. It has a neat concept for it.
It is. Yeah.
It's a bit like standard zombie stuff, but the setting is interesting enough.
Sure.
I like the idea. I like that the Sean and Katie thing is set before the events of Shang-Chi in the MCU context.
Yeah.
Where she doesn't know about the 10 Rings thing and he's still in hiding. That could have been interesting if the show had focused on it at all and Katie's reaction to that and Wenwu dying so early. When I learned Death Dealer was going to be in the main cast for this, I was like, oh, that could be interesting, actually.
Yeah,
Death Dealer gets
completely underutilized.
Death Dealer is like a really cool mid-boss in Shang-Chi. He's a video game mid-boss in Shang-Chi, and I like his design, but also he kind of goes out like a wimp in that movie, which I don't really have a problem with, but it's the exact purpose of an alternate universe project like this to go, hey, what if a lot of the big players were zombified so people like this have to step up? And he's just completely wasted, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, he could have been an interesting presence in the show if they had gone into... Yeah, he still doesn't talk. I don't get it. Like...
Do we even know who played him in the actual in Shang-Chi?
I mean, we know who played him in Shang-Chi, and I don't think they got him for this because he doesn't have any dialogue.
Well, that's true. Anyway,
I like the setup in Kate's mansion. That could have been an interesting premise if they had done anything. If they had like stayed there for longer than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
What else is there that I actually do like? No, once the show gets to Asgard, I just hate it.
Anyway, comic recommendations.
Okay, here's a good chance to talk about comics that you should read if you watch this show. God help you if you did and wanted good versions of it. We're going to start off with our MCs right here. This is Miss Marvel, the original, well, not the original run called Miss Marvel, but the first run starring Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel, written by G. Willow Wilson and drawn by Adrian Alfona. It's focused on Kamala's origin story. If you've seen the MCU show, you probably know roughly how this goes. Yeah. But it's a really, really good
solid run.
It's a really, really good run. One of arguably the best Marvel books of the last decade.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of which, Shang-Chi by Jean Luen Yang, who you might know as the writer of Superman Smashes the Klan. We recommended that in our Superman episode. We also recommended this in our What If Season 3 episode, but I'm recommending it again. Because
might as well, right?
This is a really solid Shang-Chi run. It is the definitive modern Shang-Chi run because there's like none of those other than this, basically. This just has a lot of really cool stories with him in this, and yes, he does get the cool rings from the movie. There is a version of Xialing in this, too. Where was Xialing in this? The show. Actually, where was she?
I don't. The sister, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think she was there. I don't think.
If you want a version of Blade who doesn't feel like he could have been swapped out for any other host of Khonshu, check out Blade by Brian Hill and Elena Casagrande.
Didn't they also say that Mark Spector was zombified in this?
And he never shows up. I'm like, why would you have him dead if he's just not going to show up as a zombie later?
Or a flashback, for that matter.
Yeah, just have him show up in, like, Scarlet Witch's zombie army at the end, and I would have been less annoyed by that.
Anyways.
That would have been cool. But yeah, this is actually, Blade is kind of a funny character because despite his presence in movies and, like, the general public consciousness, he has very few solo runs. This is one of them, and it's probably the best one outside of the Mark Guggenheim one from the 2000s, which is the only other one.
Fair enough.
Like I said, there's not much competition. This is a pretty solid, like, little Blade story. Has some gorgeous art by Elena Casagrande.
Yeah.
Focuses very heavily on, like, just what he's doing.
Yeah, doing his job.
If you want the good Marvel zombie story, or at least one of them.
This is in Secret Worlds, right?
Yeah, I would recommend Marvel Zombies Resurrection, but that book is impossible to find at a decent price nowadays. But this one is a lot more affordable. This is Marvel Zombies 2015 by Cy Spurrier and Kev Walker. It is actually not really a Marvel Zombies story, despite the heavy zombie setting and like it being and like fighting a bunch of zombies. It's actually more focused on Elsa Bloodstone.
Where was she in this? It would have been great.
If you've seen Werewolf by Night, you know who this is. And this is actually the origin book for Elsa Bloodstone. Goes a lot into her history as a character.
They should have just done that. Honestly.
Zombies is a cool setting, yeah.
That would have been a cool concept.
Honestly, I would have loved to see a bunch of the Marvel horror characters take on the zombies. That's a premise they haven't done yet with them.
Anyways, maybe champions.
This is, if you liked the opening dynamic with Kamala, Kate, and Riri, this isn't completely that, but it is the closest thing we have as a recommendation. This is after the events of Civil War II. A bunch of young heroes grow disillusioned with their elder peers and decide to strike out on their own as a superhero team for the people, including Kamala Khan, Miles Morales' Spider-Man, Amadeus Cho's Hulk, Viv Vision, Daughter of the Vision, a time-displaced younger version of Cyclops, and Sam Alexander's version of Nova, who we might be seeing in the future of the MCU.
This is Sam Alexander, yeah.
This is a bonus Kamala book I just brought in for fun. It's Miss Marvel Team Up. If you enjoyed the bits in this with her and Spider-Man, you'll like this a lot. And it also goes a bit into her relationship with Carol and why that matters for both characters.
Yeah.
If you wished Kate didn't get shorted, God, her death scene in this sucks. Kate Bishop Hawkeye by Kelly Thompson is a really, really good series to check out. Some gorgeous art from artists including Leonardo Romero and Michael Walsh.
Didn't they do the one for the Hawkeye, the one based off the TV show?
No, that's David Aja, who did the one the TV show is drawing from.
Oh, yeah.
Leonardo Romero, I mainly know for Birds of Prey nowadays, but this is where like his first big thing in the comics industry was, and it's quite cool.
Okay.
And we brought 2 recommendations for Namor.
Because he's in the series.
If you want a more interesting and less cut short horror take on the character, I highly recommend Submariner the Depths by Peter Milligan and Asad Ribic. This follows a submarine crew who discovers Namor in the deep sea and ends up getting into conflict with him, and the true horror that could come from Marvel's first ever superhero. This book has art by Asad Ribic, as I mentioned, and
it looks spooky.
Very cerebral style, lots of gore, lots of like really creepy elements.
I was gonna say it looks really creepy.
And if you want a more traditional story of Namor as a hero, we have The First Mutant, run by Stuart Moore, because if you didn't know, Namor is a mutant, like one of the X-Men.
Yeah, and he's got the X-Men logo on him.
This is the era of his history around the time of the X-Men's history when they were mainly based in California as the Extinction Team. And because of like a split between them and the main X-Men.
And also, if you've seen Wakanda Forever, you know that Namor's a mutant because he name drops it in that, actually.
This focuses on Namor working with that team of mutants, and in this specific case, having to fight against a group of vampires who are out for blood. The main event of this, X-Men Curse of the Mutants, isn't really relevant, but if you want to read a story where the X-Men, Blade, and Namor have to fight the rogue son of Dracula...
That sounds great, actually.
You might enjoy that.
Sounds cool.
Marvel Dracula is actually really fun. There's like a lot of good story. It's easier to recommend stories for Marvel Dracula than it is for Blade, and that's kind of upsetting. Yeah. But it's still fun either way.
Yeah, I think we're
thank
about
you
done.
for shop.
What he's trying to say is we're done with this discussion.
I still have brain from my job. Oh God.
Don't worry about it.
We had fun with this discussion. Do not watch this show.
If you want to watch it, watch at your own discretion. Okay?
Don't watch it. This is a flat out one where I'm saying you shouldn't put yourself through this. It's only like 2 hours, and I still think I wasted years of my life.
Yes. Honestly, like. I'm indifferent. Honestly, if you want to watch it, we're not stopping you.
Yeah, watch it at your own peril, I guess. But
anyways, we'll be right back, folks.
We'll be right back.